Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jayam Vishupad Paramsa Pariprajagacharya Shtotra Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Beauty Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishupad Paramsa Pariprajagacharya Shtotra Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giraj Govardhan ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, always Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10, verse number 11 to 13. 10, 10, 11 to 13. Deha kimanna dhatu swam nishiktur maturevacha matu piturva balina kretur agne shuno piva. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. While alive, does this body belong to its employer, to the self, to the father, the mother, or the mother's father? Does it belong to the person who takes it away by force, to the slave master who purchases it, or to the sons who burn it in the fire? Or, if the body is not burned, does it belong to the dogs that eat it? Among the many possible claimants, who is the rightful claimant? Not to ascertain this, but instead to maintain the body by sinful activities is not good. Evam sadharanam deham avyakta prabhavapyayam ko vidvan atmasat kritva hanti jantum kritekshata. This body, after all, is produced by the unmanifested nature and again annihilated and merged in the natural elements. Therefore, it is the common property of everyone. Under the circumstances, who but a rascal claims this property as his own, and while maintaining it commits such sinful activities as killing animals just to satisfy his whims? Unless one is a rascal, one cannot commit such sinful activities. Purport: Atheists do not believe in the existence of the soul. Nonetheless, unless one is very cruel, why should one kill animals unnecessarily? The body is a manifestation of a combination of matter. In the beginning it was nothing, but by a combination of matter it has come into existence. Then again, when the combination is dismantled, the body will no longer exist. In the beginning it was nothing, and in the end it will be nothing. Why then should one commit sinful activities when it is manifested? It is not possible for anyone to do this unless he is rascal number 1. Verse number 13. Ashata Shri Madandhasya Daridryam Param Ajnanam Ajnanam Atmaupam Yena Bhutani Daridra Param Ikshate. Translation: Atheistic fools and rascals who are very much proud of wealth fail to see things as they are. Therefore, returning them to poverty is the proper ointment for their eyes, so they may see things as they are. At least a poverty-stricken man can realize how painful poverty is, and therefore he will not want others to be in a painful condition like his own. Purport: Even today, if a man who was formerly poverty-stricken gets money, he is inclined to utilize his money to perform many philanthropic activities, like opening schools for uneducated men and hospitals for the diseased. In this connection, there is an instructive story called Punar Mushika Bhava, again become a mouse. A mouse was very much harassed by a cat, and therefore the mouse approached a saintly person to request to become a cat. When the mouse became a cat, he was harassed by a dog. And then when he became a dog, he was harassed by a tiger. But when he became a tiger, he stared at the saintly person. And when the saintly person asked him, "What do you want?" the tiger said, "I want to eat you." Then the saintly person cursed him, saying, "May you again become mouse." A similar thing is going on all over the universe. One is going up and down. Sometimes becoming a mouse, sometimes becoming a tiger, and so on. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Brahmanda brahmite hobe kono bhagyavan jiva. Guru Krishna prasada paye bhakti lata bija." CC Madhya 19:151. The living entities are promoted and degraded by the laws of nature. But if one is very, very fortunate, by association with saintly persons, he gets the seed of devotional service, and his life becomes successful. Narada Muni wanted to bring Nala Kuvera and Manigriva to the platform of devotional service through poverty, and thus he cursed them. Such is the mercy of a Vaishnava. Unless one is brought to the Vaishnava platform, one cannot be a good man. Haro abhyaktasya kuto mahadguna. Bhagvatam 5:18-12. And a Vaishnava never becomes a good man, however severely he is punished. Unless one is brought to the Vaishnava platform, one cannot be a good man. And a Vaishnava never becomes a good man, however severely he is punished. Om Jnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangun Langayati Grim Yat Kripata Mande Shri Guru Dinataranam Vanchakalpatarush Kripa Sindhu Chapatita Nama Pavunibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Atheists do not believe in the existence of the soul. Nonetheless, unless one is very cruel, why should one kill animals unnecessarily? Srila Prabhupada is pointing out the defect, not the defect, the lack of knowledge. It's not even a defect. It's just ignorance. And because it is deluded by sense gratification, then the propensity to enjoy is so much that we are not able to see what is right or wrong anymore. And hence, Prabhupada is mentioning over here that killing animals unnecessarily, when there is a superior thing that can be done, why not save the animals? But because to just do sense gratification of the tongue, yes, hundreds and millions of slaughterhouses are opened. Yes, it is so common now that it is not even a sin anymore. It is given on a plate which is deemed to be so costly. The greatest restaurants in the whole world have to serve something non-veg. Yes, and that's the state of the consciousness of the whole world. And that's why if somebody is actually eating non-veg or anything, it's not a big deal these days. Right? It's not a big deal. But the thing is that when they have a pet dog or a pet cat or a pet fish, but if that thing dies naturally or something happens, there are court cases, there is this, there is that, there are millions of dollars spent to protect the pet. Why? Because you have attachment. So eventually, if it is my attachment, I care. Otherwise, I don't care. Yes. And that's why Prabhupada is mentioning that the body is a manifestation of combination of matter. It's not ours or theirs. And hence, it does not matter whether the body is there today or tomorrow, or it's not there tomorrow. Why? Because it was never ours. It was never ours to claim. And that's why duties are given. Yes. Why duties are given? For example, when, let's say, we have water or fire, the duty of fire, the religion of fire is to burn, to produce heat. Yes, to produce heat, and it can be used to cook. So it's not like today the fire says that yes, I'm going to, produce heat, and tomorrow I'm not. It is doing its duty. Similarly, for human beings, there is always duties. And to fail to perform them, because we have some minute independence, results into havoc. Yes, because more and more sense gratification is publicized and there is decline in religion, then yes, definitely we do not want to follow our own duties. We want to do something else. Yes, I don't want to work because, it's too much. I just want to sit at home and do nothing. But then when we do nothing, when we get the reaction of when we have an empty bank balance, then we struggle. Oh, why is the Lord doing this to me? I'm such a nice devotee. What did I do wrong? Yes. And eventually, it's like kids, And that's why this whole society, whether they are wearing suits or $1 million, having $1 million cars or anything, is just animals riding them. Why? Because there is no consciousness of what is the actual higher intelligence. Prabhupada was very heavy on this. What is the advancement? Yes, It's only eating, sleeping, mating and defending. There is nothing else going on. There is nothing spiritual about it. If you see in India also, like they were celebrating Ganesh Utsav and all, the murtis of Lord Ganesh, they just dump them. One might do it in the house, but everything is like, because it's just the 10-day festival, that's why people are able to do it. Yes, people are able to maintain no eating non-veg, no stealing at that 10 days. I've seen, because we do that, right? Chaturmas comes, Shravan comes, and then people are very strict. 10 days I'm going to do this, I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to chant, whatever mantras they are chanting. But it's only for 10 days. Because they cannot do it beyond that. Why? And then Prabhupada mentions in the next verse. Yes? Where is that one? Unless one is brought to the Vaishnava platform, one cannot be a good man. And a Vaishnava never becomes a good man, however severely he is punished. This is a very important aspect. Why? It's like usually we think that a person can be rectified of his behavior, of his bad attitude, of whatever it is, by external means. Like let's say a kid is actually behaving very badly. They're stealing, they are actually not respectful to their parents. And the parents can force the kid to behave that way. But the thing is that the inner consciousness is still the same. They might respect the parent because they are strict, because they have money involved over there. And they might be just narcissistic. They are not able to see anything. But the thing is that the kids do not understand, the teenagers do not understand that eventually Maya Devi is not that, caring as a parent. Why? Because we have the tendency to do sense gratification, right? And we want whatever we desire. We want it fully. So, when it is not done for Krishna, when it is done for name, fame, prestige or anything else, Maya Devi makes sure that we get the full reaction of that. But as devotees, Krishna is trying to tell us that, hey, it does not work. Why are you doing it? A devotee sees it this way. But a Vaishnava, which Prabhupada is mentioning, a person who is not Krishna conscious, that person is never going to see, why is this happening to me? Maybe there is a silver lining. And they'll wait for the silver lining rather than changing their own attitude. It's a very big gap. Very big gap. And that's why when devotees make mistakes, when devotees have fall downs, when devotees have issues, it is still temporary. Apicheta suduracharo. Why? However the severe situation might be. You know why? Because this lifetime we might have not sinned. We might have not done anything wrong. Yeah. Let's say whatever it is. Maybe the gravest of the sin. Sleeping with your own guru's wife. Maybe this life we haven't done it. But can we guarantee in millions of lifetimes which we had, we never did it? There is no guarantee. Obviously, I must have done it somewhere. My lust have become so badly overpowering me. But Krishna doesn't look it that way. Yes, why? Because it's like if we are ananya bhaka, apicheta suduracharo ananya bhaka, he says. Because he has devotion to me and he knows that this is actually not giving me happiness. That understanding one day will bring that person to a platform of purity. That sin will go away. And that's why Prabhupada was very careful when he dealt with his disciples. Yes, what kind of disciples, right? At least initially, all hippies, all of them have, in the very early age of 16 and everything, they had that attitude that yes, marijuana is good for you. All kinds of intoxication is good for you to reach at a higher level of consciousness. It's freedom of doing anything and everything. Majority of the philosophies are like this. Do whatever you have to do. Why? Because that person wants money and name and fame. And that person becomes famous by saying all this. And people want that, to be cheated. But when somebody actually tries to be Krishna conscious, right? I've seen it so many times. People can behave so badly, so badly. But in the outside world, let's say I am interacting with one of my new acquaintances as a roommate, because this happened actually with me. And this person had such a bad attitude, so narcissistic. And nobody was able to handle that. So it was so easy to actually tell him, please get out of the house. In 1 month, anyways the lease is going to get over. You actually get out of the house. We do not want to interact with you. We do not want to do anything. And till date today, I do not interact with him. It doesn't matter. Very bad attitude. We do not call him for anything. None of my friends call him, because nobody actually wants him to be associated with such a person. And that's where I was seeing that actually we might behave badly. Like a teenager behaves badly with their parents. But the thing is that Maya Devi, so if that purity in consciousness is not there, today we might be popular. Tomorrow, people are not going to associate with us. They're not going to look at it. We are going to be alone. And this thing, kids do not understand. And similarly, when adults do not understand this, that means they are also kids. They're just, with age they have grown. But actually the mentality is as of kids. And it's immature. So, because this person was not a devotee, I couldn't care less, sorry to say. Yes, and then yes, everybody becomes a devotee later on, but I cannot tolerate that at all. Bad attitude is just not possible. If somebody is not, because I am narcissistic, I want to be the center. I have seen it, what it means to be the center of attention. I know when somebody else is doing it. And then you're going to come and do that, and you're going to have a bad attitude about it. Not even understanding that, you're showing yourself to be humble. Then obviously, it's not going to work out. It's not only me. None of my friends approved of it. And everybody was okay when we discarded this person out of the house. He went somewhere else. Somebody else's problem. Yes. The thing is that when somebody actually becomes a devotee, right? And if the tables change now this person is a devotee. He's chanting Hare Krishna. But he still maintains that narcissistic behavior, let's say. And then we start associating. Because we have that Vaishnava etiquette, we have that heavy attitude, heavy push down from the Shastras and the Acharyas, that we cannot behave badly with a Vaishnava. You cannot just discard that person. Yes. I was asking Kratu Maharaj that what if a person is behaving so badly? What if he's exploiting? What if he's doing so many things? And he's a devotee, he's chanting Hare Krishna. You know what he said? He said that if he's following the rules, he's not eating meat and everything, if he's chanting Hare Krishna, then the senior has to tolerate. There is nothing you can do. And I was shocked. I was like, huh? I'm like, okay, if you have to, and then you can tolerate, but like that's why then the element of devotee care comes into picture also, right? We were actually having that whole seminar where your care is also important. And so how do you balance, right? How do you balance? It's that wherever you are, then you have to draw that boundary. I cannot compare myself to Guru Maharaj. I cannot compare myself to somebody who's a guru, because his compassionate level is unlimited. I am still struggling. If I associate with this person more and more, I am going to ruin my Krishna consciousness, and the hope of becoming an unlimited compassionate person is gone. Then what did I gain? Right? So this element of devotee care, where you can do whatever you have to do, is balanced with how much ever you can tolerate. Right? And that's why there is always a perspective and a balance. But if a person is doing all this, then we try to tolerate. We put our good face ahead. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnunam amanina amanadena kirtaniya sadhari. It's very difficult. But we tolerate. Why? Because this person is a devotee. Correct? So I was actually considering
this shloka of Krishna, api cheta suduracharo ananya bhak, and he considered him as a sadhu. On one hand, the previous person was kicked out of the house, and he was banned from the association of my friend, of all of us. But on this hand, because this person is just chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is so merciful that even though you should have been discarded long time back, long time back, the moment it was the first interaction, you were to be out. Right? But because Krishna is so merciful that you will enjoy the temple facilities, you will enjoy prasadam, you will enjoy whatever, yes, people will give you. Why? Because they are good, not that this person is good, because they are practicing Vaishnavism. Yes, and that's why this neophyte devotee also, so-called at least, from external behavior wise, he is getting all the benefits. And that's why we cannot even imagine what Srila Prabhupada has done when he was dealing with his disciples, initially at least. Yes, Prabhupada writes somewhere, I am in San Francisco, what can I do? In New York, these people are getting cheated for thousands and thousands of dollars. And that time, $1,000 is such a big amount. And it's not coming, and these are donations. People are not going out and earning. Like today, we all are earning. So yes, okay, fine. There is something we can actually all come together, pitch in and do all that stuff. But no, Srila Prabhupada, who are these people? They're low income people. And Prabhupada is saving each and every penny. And then they are just, they promise, Prabhupada, but they promise. Young people, right? Naive, innocent people. Naive, innocent devotees. They're like, okay, you give us, they said that, you give me money, I'll give you the property. But that person had taken money from so many people. And then he never returned it back. And Prabhupada is like, why would you do that? But Prabhupada, he promised. No, but how can you have faith? And that's how today we have more than 650 properties. Farm communities, so many farm communities. Starting with that small thing, starting with so much trouble to even actually have a small storefront. Srila Prabhupada's arrival and sannyas pastimes just happened. Because sannyas pastimes was on Sunday, I think. And he took sannyas. And then arrival of Srila Prabhupada in Boston, right? It's a big thing. And the thing is that Prabhupada, when he arrived in Boston, and he was on the boat after 2 heart attacks, what a person must be feeling that let me just be on the ground. I have had it with this journey. I don't want to bear it anymore. Please get me rid of this. It's like on Ekadashi, if you want to eat a gulab jamun, it's like, no, and then you're pushing yourself. It's nowhere compared to what Prabhupada is going through. He just wants to... if I was there, obviously I just want to get out of this place and just go back home to Pune, not even to Vrindavan. Just forget everything, earn a livelihood and forget about everything about Krishna consciousness. But Srila Prabhupada, he's just waiting and waiting. For the first time, he has actually traveled to the West. He's never seen anything. He just heard there is snow. He just heard there are white people. He's seen Britishers, but he's never been there. And now he's going to enter a new phase, totally different. Alone, everything alone. He doesn't know where to go. What is it? It's not like he called up somebody and then, hey, is there an ISKCON of Phoenix somewhere? Oh, okay, so it's a good college to go to ISKCON of Phoenix. Because, devotees are there, okay, fine. Then, kids, I was just thinking about this. And then, it's like I was struggling because there was nobody in the college when I was there, It was very difficult to travel, come by bus and all. These days, when devotees come and they start practicing, right, whether it is Piti Gopika Mataji or so many people, we already had cars, so we are able to facilitate all that. And then some people come and say that, there was such a big struggle. I'm like, no, you didn't struggle. There's no struggle. You're getting a ride every single Sunday. You're doing so many things. You're getting to stay at devotee's place. What struggle? There's no struggle as such. The real struggle, we can't even imagine. And he's not just coming here to earn money. It's not like I've gone to a foreign place and I have Krishna consciousness, built up somewhere. There is YouTube and everything. There's nothing. And it's not just I have to maintain myself and then I'll go back. No, he's coming and it is his Guru's mission. And now it's almost about to leave his body. At 70, obviously anytime, Prabhupada always said, anytime Krishna will call me back. And the thin ray of hope for the whole world. Prabhupada is on, the Jaladuta and the ship is entering, Boston Harbor. The pure devotee of Krishna, and the founder Acharya for the whole Yuga Acharya, and he is really the Jagat Guru. It's not even just a thing to say. At a moment when nobody was Jagat Guru, in the past there was nobody who could have done it. He is actually standing on that ship. And where is he standing in the ship? He's standing at the edge of the pointed, edge of the ship. Maybe excited, don't know what Prabhupada is thinking. He writes those prayers, Krishna tava punya habe bhai. And he's glorifying his Guru like anything. That it is his desire. If his desire is that, yes, definitely, Krishna's teachings will be all over the world. Yes? Prithvihache yatha nagar adigram sarvata prachar hoibe moranam. It will be all over the world. It is my Guru's mission, my Guru's desire, it will happen. So much faith in the Guru. And it is Krishna's desire, so much faith in the holy name. Can't even imagine. Nobody else could have done it. And he's standing over there, and he's standing at that position. And then he starts, and then the person on the harbor actually sees Srila, this boat coming in. And he's like the person who works on the port. And he waves at Srila, at the ship, the captain, to say that, you can dock. It's allowed to dock. You can dock over here or something like that. Giving the signal like they do it on the airplanes. And Prabhupada over there is thinking that, and then he waves, and then Prabhupada waves back. Big smile, happy. A person who has just suffered a heart attack without emergency care, and on the ship with seasickness, traveled the Atlantic Ocean, and is waving back. Prabhupada sees that, whoever that person was, after a few years, he actually meets the devotees and he actually becomes a devotee. He's like, the same person is in newspapers. The same person has done it. He's traveled all over the world. And he becomes a devotee just by seeing Srila Prabhupada, just by seeing his enthusiasm, just by seeing how happy he is with Krishna consciousness. When he got down on the docks, he did not know where to go, left or right. He got his visa stamped. How many months do you want to stay, Swamiji? Or whoever, they did not know even to say Swamiji. How many months do you want to say? How many months visa you want? Prabhupada pushed for a month, I think it was 2 months or 1 month initially. And then every single time from New York, whenever he used to go, he used to visit the docks. And he used to see the ships going back. He never imagined that he will ever travel through planes, airplanes, And then later onwards, when we see Prabhupada, it's unimaginable to see him traveling through airplanes, waving, so happy, and his devotees dancing and welcoming him. What pastimes, what inconceivable pastimes of a pure devotee. We can't even imagine Krishna's pastimes. It is just a glimpse of who Srila Prabhupada is and what he has done for all of us. That today we can be so grateful that we can be in the category of Vaishnavas and not an Vaishnava who do not understand how to behave and what is the reactions of this material world. And be happy, He actually gave us happiness. And to make us so happy that with enthusiasm we can chant, with enthusiasm we can come together and celebrate so many festivals, unimaginable festivals. Yes, unimaginable festivals. It's Srila Prabhupada's mercy. And that's why we thank Srila Prabhupada on all these special days, it's a really big thing for all of us, more than Janmashtami, more than any other festival. These events are actually etched in the universal history. It's universal, not even the earth's history, universal history. Because demigods are standing in line to be, take part in the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to take birth in the movement of Srila Prabhupada. Why? Because that is the easiest way to actually give up everything and go back home, back to Godhead. And how much grateful we should be that we are so close to Srila Prabhupada. So close. Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the point is that initially when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, before that Babajis were there, right? Before Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj is the Babaji. We never had formal sannyas. They were sannyasis. Babajis are greater than sannyasis. But for preaching, we need to show people. Otherwise, today if we didn't have Brahman initiations and all, because we cannot sustain just chanting Hare Krishna, we have to have support of Pancharatra. Pancharatra has all these initiations, right? So that's why Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur instill this so that we can do deity worship, we can actually become purified. It is a support for hearing and chanting. It is a support. The thing is that is one thing. The second thing is that to show the world also that Vaishnavas, if a person is a Vaishnava, he is a Brahmana by default. And that's why they started instilling that yes, it is not by caste anymore. That by caste, I am not a Brahmana. But Prabhupada, because he can create, because we are Vaishnavas, we are automatically Brahmanas. So there is no problem in accepting those things. No, to show the people, it's for preaching. Actually, the basis is hearing and chanting. It's only hearing and chanting. Yeah, but chanting means what? If 24 hours we are engaged in Shravanam and Kirtanam only, no business, literally no family, no kids, nothing, only Shravanam and Kirtanam. If we can do that, then we do not need anything. Then all of these things, right? Pancharatra, deity worship, there is no requirement for anything. That's why people say, oh, only chanting. If you hear all these people who are not in deity worship, right, they'll say, oh, only chanting is enough. But the thing is that they do not know what it means. Only chanting, they do not have a job. Only chanting, they do not have a job, live under a tree and just do chanting 24 hours, depend on Krishna totally. Who can do that? Nobody can do that. Yeah, so Sad Goswami, right? So then, if we are Sad Goswamis, then we do not need anything. Prabhupada said all these books are just for us to chant, to more and more chant. But the thing is that we have sense gratification propensities, right? So all these varnashram and everything is instilled so that we can maintain that lifestyle. For example, for my case also, because you have to chant Gayatri and everything, so every 3 Sandhyas, right, you remember Krishna automatically. Otherwise, you can finish your chanting and the whole day you can do nonsense. Yes, nobody is going to look at you. But now, because you have to chant Gayatri and all, now you are focusing on Krishna at least 3 times a day. So there are so many ways you can look at it. But the main thing is that to prove that Vaishnavas are Brahmanas by default. Why? Because Brahmanas means what? Who has knowledge of Brahman. But these days the Brahmanas are also cheating. So that's why to instill proper Brahmanas and not to degrade even that, Prabhupada and Acharyas make sure that everything goes on nicely. And that's why Srila Prabhupada wanted Varnashram. And for Varnashram, the first thing is the head. The head is the Brahmanas. Because naturally in the world, people respect Brahmanas. So they have to instill in a way of preaching also. So, yeah. So there are so many things going on. so that people can come. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu take sannyas? You know that? Why did Mahaprabhu take sannyas? But still, what is the primary? Exactly. They wouldn't have respected him. They wouldn't have got liberated if Mahaprabhu wouldn't have taken sannyas. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu doesn't require all this. You know, everybody is crying, why are you taking? There is no need, your Supreme Personality. But like, no, these people are so useless. Like over here, he writes it, Prabhupada writes, rascals. They cannot do anything. So I have to set an example of sannyas and everything, so that then they will automatically come. You know, Prakashanand Sarva, big people, so many people became devotees because Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Otherwise, there is no need of all this. If somebody can only chant Hare Krishna, only hearing and chanting, no family, no kids, there is no desires, nothing else, then there is no need for all these initiations. Then you can be a Shad Goswami and then sit under a tree. No requirement. You'll get, in Vrindavan, everybody gets something to eat, right? Every single day. Milta hi hai khane ko. Why to have family? Why to have job? Why to have anything? But people can't do it. So that's why all these rules and regulations are given. It's like so many people say, oh, you know, just chanting, we don't have to do all these things. There is no necessity. But thing is that what do they do 24 hours? They go for a job? Why to go for a job then? If you are only saying Shravanam and Kirtanam is important, why to go for anything else? Like Radha Govind Maharaj, 6 hours he'll do Katha. Guru Maharaj, 6 hours they'll do Katha. Who can do Katha like that? Nobody. That's why they are sannyasis. They can maintain that. But if I take sannyas, like the next day I'll fall down. There is nothing. You know, I can't do that. You just can't, right? Yeah. Thank you.